Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. And today we have another video from Kage. This one talking about the uniqueness of Sasuke Uchiha. Now I said in a previous video that we are going to be reacting to this video at one point, and here it is. It's finally here. We're going to be watching this. So let's not waste any time. Let's just go ahead, full screen this. Let me put on my headphones. Check everything, and okay. Let's go ahead and watch the video in 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, everybody? Swag Kage here, and today I am joined by Clyde the Weeaboo. Say hi for everybody.
How you doing, guys? Thanks for having me on, Swag Kage. We actually recorded this video yesterday and it got fucked up. But...
fucking, I was a dumbass and didn't fucking record the call that we were in, but you know, whatever.
Yep, shit
Water
happens.
under the bridge.
Shit happens. But yeah, fire away. What are we doing today?
As everybody can tell by the title, it's about Sasuke Uchiha, one of the greatest anime and manga characters of all time, one of my personal favorites. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people think that he's, like Crybaby, like all of these generic insults that you see tossed at him that you don't see tossed at other, shonen rivals or characters in his position. And that's actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about. What sets Sasuke apart from all of these characters and why it's not inherently bad. See, with shonen rivals, you generally have the same thing going on among all of them, like Kaiba, Hiei, Vegeta, fucking Grimjaw, like all of them generally are overly arrogant, they have some irrational hatred of the main protagonist. It's very set, like, it follows the Shonen Jump formula, and you can tell what you're getting into with most of these characters. Whereas Sasuke, despite the fact that he was created specifically to follow the Shonen Jump trend of the protagonist having a rival, doesn't really follow the same cookie-cutter mold or model that other characters do.
It's good the way that you explain that, because like he was introduced into Naruto and the editor said we need a rival for Naruto, right? But the thing is, Sasuke wasn't introduced like Grimjaw, Vegeta, anyone like that. He's not a hot-headed character.
That's true.
He sort of broke the shonen trope in a sense, because I've said before that, like, if you watch Shippuden, it's kind of like a two-story series which you're watching, because you're following Sasuke's story and Naruto's. Exactly. And Sasuke's quite unique. I mean, you can take it from here, but I just wanted to quickly interject, because that was a good point that you made. Like, he isn't following the typical Shonen Jump trope, which is kind of why I do enjoy Sasuke a lot compared to other rivals.
Yeah, exactly. He gets so much development, unlike a lot of these characters, and he's allowed to do things that these other characters
He
do.
has goals that don't involve the main character. That's what
job characters. What I mean by that is
sets him apart from the other rival
character, or just wanking a powerful character to show off that another character is incredibly powerful. Like this happens all the time in Dragon Ball with Frieza.
And the thing that I want to bring up, because I know some people might bring this up in the comments, is, he said that, he doesn't have this irrational hatred of the main character. And, excuse me, sorry. And, some people might say, well, wait, doesn't Sasuke show a lot of, like, there are a lot of moments in the anime where he, shows hatred of Naruto. That's true, but the thing is, it's not irrational. Like, there's a reason for that. And the thing that I, again, love about how Kishimoto wrote Sasuke's character is that his hatred of Naruto, like, there's a reason for it. And again, he doesn't hate Naruto because it's Naruto. He hates Naruto because he sees how much he's progressing, and it makes Sasuke feel like he's standing still, because Sasuke has a goal. His goal, of course, at the beginning was to kill Itachi. And the thing that Sasuke's been constantly reminded of his entire life is that he's always nowhere near the level of skill that his brother is. And that's why he's so frustrated whenever he sees Naruto, is because he sees how Naruto's progressing, and it makes him feel like he's standing still, even though that's not true, because he himself does progress. But the thing that was so interesting about Sasuke is that he forgets that he was already at an advanced level at such a young age, whereas Naruto started off as, nothing. And it's so much clearer to see the progression of someone who started off as nothing, as opposed to someone who started off as something and then became just more of a something. It's like, okay, you know what it is? It was explained kind of perfectly in My Hero, actually, near the very, very beginning. And you had that moment where All Might was talking to Bakugo after their first, their first like class tests, where they were paired off, where one pair acted as the villains and the other acted as the heroes. And Bakugo was shocked at how the fact that Midoriya was able to even fight him at all because he thought it was nothing, and he was underestimating his own growth. But um, All Might talks to him and says that you have try looking at it like this: Midoriya was a level 0, and now he's a level 30. So it's clear to see that how much he's progressed. Whereas you, let's say you started off as a level 30 and you ended up and now you're a level 40. It's like, yeah, you've progressed, but it's not much of a progression as opposed to Midoriya, who started off as a level 0 and now he's a level 30. And I don't think that's exactly it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's basically something like this. Like, that's why Sasuke was so mad at Naruto. He wasn't mad at Naruto because of Naruto, because he hated Naruto specifically. He hated him because he felt like he wasn't progressing enough, and he feels like he'll probably never be good enough to be able to get his revenge on his older brother. That's why he had those moments where he was sort of pissed whenever he saw Naruto's progression. It's just like there's more to it than that, and I hate whenever people like minimize what's actually happening to that, even though it's kind of obvious. Kishimoto did, like, he wasn't writing Shakespeare. I mean, it was pretty freaking obvious. All you had to do was read the manga or watch the anime.
Just annihilating Vegeta, Cell annihilating Vegeta, Boo annihilating Vegeta.
Mhm.
That doesn't happen with Sasuke.
That's true.
It happens a lot in various anime.
Yeah.
Vegeta's not the only victim of this trope.
And I'm sorry, I know I keep pausing. I know people hate it whenever I pause it, but again, I really don't want to talk over him. But like that's honestly a criticism. That's something so many people have criticized about Dragon Ball, especially modern Dragon Ball, and other shonen series. Whenever you have that rival character, is they always have the rival character lose to whoever the main antagonist of the arc is at that point, and then the main protagonist comes in and they defeat them to show how awesome the main character is. And it's just, yeah, like you said, that doesn't happen with Sasuke. I mean, it happens. The only time I can think of it happening is the fight with Gaara. Yeah, the fight with Gaara where Sasuke fought him, he was able to injure him but not exactly beat him, and then Naruto came in and he did win. That's the only example I can think of, and other than that, like, it doesn't really happen. I mean, in all of Shippuden, like, they were separated for pretty much most of Shippuden, and the only time they ever came together and had a common antagonist was in the Fourth Great Ninja War with Obito and Madara. Although even then, it's not like Sasuke fought the main villain and then got his ass kicked, and then Naruto came in and fought him and actually won. It's like, no, it required teamwork. Like, it required both of them working together in order to beat the villain. Like, that's been one of the main themes of the Naruto franchise that Kishimoto was trying to push with the characters, that it's like sometimes you have to work as a team in order to accomplish something. It's just because, like, when you try to do it alone, it's either really, really difficult or next to impossible.
It happens to Kaiba like so much,
Mm-hmm.
and various other shonen rivals. But Sasuke is different. It makes him a lot less predictable, and that unpredictability is good because I like when I'm watching something and I don't know where it's going. And
Mm-hmm.
when you watch Sasuke fight Deidara, you don't know how that's going to end because Naruto and Kakashi together couldn't take Deidara out, but Sasuke managed to do
Mm-hmm.
it by
Sasuke
himself.
did it.
Sasuke versus Itachi, before it was revealed that whole thing was a setup.
Mhm.
I was really unsure who was going to come out on top, despite the fact that was battle to the death. When Sasuke fights the five Kage, it's the same thing. Everything he does, I find, is interesting, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that, for being one of the most dynamic aspects of the show, and one of the most dynamic characters in anime in general, because he breaks a very prominent trope present in a lot of anime, and it's because of that Kishimoto's given more liberty as to what he can do with him. Sasuke can do other things, and he also goes through a lot of character changes, unlike many of these
Mhm.
Characters. And
They're
it's
usually the
just
same from
overall
beginning
good. I
to
think
end.
everybody
They don't really
knows
change all that much.
Yeah, it is a good point. I like the fact that Sasuke, compared to other rivals in the series, he's actually had his own sort of spotlight to shine, which is something I have a huge problem with Dragon Ball, because I'm a Vegeta fan. I've always preferred Vegeta over Goku, but seeing him get bitched in every situation, like even in the Frieza movie where I think everybody in the series that was watching, every fan that was watching that movie wanted Vegeta to beat Frieza. Like,
Yep,
there's no reason why
everyone
he
wanted
shouldn't
it.
have, other than shoehorning in the main character to beat him.
And then
Goku
Goku
comes
just
in, Kamehameha, like that's annoying. But whereas in Naruto, you get to root for Sasuke if you're a fan of Sasuke. Like, you see him fight Deidara, that was one of the
well,
coolest fights
maybe
in the
not
series,
so
in my
much in the
opinion, because there
Boruto
was so
series
much
now.
tactical planning.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, there was like so much planning that went into how he was going to beat him, and like you said to me in the call that we did in the first recording that like when he put his sword into the ground to find out where the bombs were, and then he stood on top of it, like that was fucking badass.
Mhm.
Then you had the fight with Danzo. Like if that was Naruto against Danzo, I honestly don't see Naruto getting out of that because Danzo was just so fucking bullshit hacks, and the fact that Sasuke could work, he worked out how the ability worked. He ended up getting that genjutsu on his hand without him looking. Like that's so awesome. I love that.
And that's the thing is that that's always been the difference between Naruto and Sasuke is that Sasuke's always been a smarter fighter, as opposed to Naruto. Now that's not to downplay Naruto. Like he's proven us many times that he's a lot more clever than people give him credit for. Especially now in the Boruto series, like he's grown. He's obviously grown. He's not the same. But the thing about Sasuke is that he's always been the more tactical fighter. Like he's always been able to clearly discern like his opponents and their skills like very early on, which is what makes him such a dangerous fighter. And I feel like a lot of people tend to overlook that when it comes to Sasuke. It's just
it's not just let's suck off the main character throughout the whole series and just have arse pulls with Naruto. Like we got to see Sasuke show off. We got to see him do things which other rivals would never do, which is what you said too. And it's I'm glad that that's a huge thing in Naruto because, like I just said, if you're not a huge fan of Naruto, you can root for Sasuke all the way up through Shippuden, and I thought that was cool. That's just my opinion with that, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it makes the final battle between Naruto and Sasuke a lot more. Well, I mean, barring the fact that everyone knew that everyone was going to survive through that fight because of the fact that the last was.
Yeah, the movie poster came out, and we all knew that everyone was going to live. So it did kind of take away from a little.
Invested in because of the fact that you care about both characters. When I was first reading through the final chapters of the manga, I was like fucking, I did not want anything bad to happen to Sasuke.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want anything bad to happen to Naruto either. But I was really.
You cared
really
about both of them.
Sasuke's, maybe not on his side because like what he was trying to do wasn't exactly the best, but like I got where he was coming from, and I didn't want him to die because of what he believed. And I also think that Sasuke is responsible for one of the coolest plot twists like ever. Like what he did in chapter 692, where he was just like, before we release the infinite Tsukuyomi, let me kill the 5 Kage and annihilate all of the tailed beasts. Like that was like Majin Vegeta times 10,000. That was insane. And like I knew Naruto
you
was
can't
fighting Sasuke,
tell me
but I didn't know it was
that
going
there's
to be, like,
anyone out there
this
who
crazy.
expected that to happen, who saw
you get
that
sort
coming.
of stuff
You're
with
just
Sasuke all
lying
the
at
time.
that
Like,
point.
when he was fighting the Raikage evenly, and a lot of people say that fight against the Raikage was an example of Sasuke getting slaughtered. No, it was not.
That's
Sasuke
bullshit.
was
That's
fighting.
bullshit.
I know he was fighting the Raikage evenly. The
There's,
Raikage lost
like,
an arm, and he really lost his legs.
Here's the thing, like in the Naruto universe, they hadn't ever like Naruto and Sasuke hadn't really fought anyone who was that high of speed. Like speed wasn't a huge feat in Naruto. It wasn't something that like a character would focus his main attributes on. So out of nowhere comes this fucking Raikage who can move at the speed of lightning. It's like, what, Sasuke was obviously shocked at the time because he wasn't ready for that, but he still held his own. Then went on to fight the other Kages. Then went on to fight Danzo and beat Danzo. Like that feat alone, that's insane. That's something I clap my hands for Sasuke because he gets so much shit.
I know.
Honestly, compared to other villains, compared to rivals, compared to other rivals, he doesn't get bitched pretty much at all. Like if anything,
it's because he doesn't care. His resolve is like unshakable. And he has a whole lot more purpose behind what he's doing other than just I'm gonna prove myself. Like he doesn't care what other people think of him, and that helps him out so much because like with generic shonen rivals, it's usually like a pride thing, like a massive pride thing. And with Sasuke, he's just like he doesn't give a fuck what anybody thinks about him, and it's very admirable because he knows the world is fucked because of what he's been through, and like he's just like, if other people don't see things the way I do, like that's just life. I don't care. I'm gonna get what I want either way.
Mm. Yeah, I do agree. Like, if you compare Sasuke to the other rivals in the series, like, for example, in Bleach, you have Grimjiao, who, when he came back and stuff during the war, Suikage doesn't know a lot about this, but anyway, one of the things that happened was he came in and he wanted to show, like, he pretty much ran ahead, whereas this is something Vegeta would also do. He ran ahead, he's like, no, I'm just going to go take out the villain, whatever. Vegeta did this in the Buu saga when it come to going against Buu. He's like, sorry, Gohan, blah, 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 I'm just going to go in there and suicide bomb. Same thing with Bleach and so on. Like, it's good that, in a sense, like, Sasuke wasn't doing it to make himself look better than Naruto. He had his own motives and goals in the series, which is why I think that it's silly that he gets shit for leaving the village, when you need to realize he has no obligation to stay in the Leaf Village. Like, just because he's friends with Naruto, like, that friendship isn't a lifelong marriage, like, seal. Like, no, you gotta stay here, you're my friend now, whatever. Like, one of the things which is kind of annoying is that, like, Sasuke, I would be pretty annoyed if I had some kid fucking following me 24/7, like, oh my god, I love you, come back to the village. Like, no, he had his own goals. Like, if you look
that
at
was always
Not
annoying
mention,
to
like,
me.
While they were in the village, Naruto constantly fucking complained about everything Sasuke did.
Yeah.
So, like, when he was suddenly asking Sasuke,
You
to
would
come
think
back to the
when
village,
Sasuke said he was leaving, Naruto would kind of be happy,
make
but
up your
no.
mind. But yeah, no, like you were saying, I'm sorry to cut you off here, but
No,
like,
it's fine.
Sasuke had no obligation to stay in Leaf Village. His family was dead,
Gone.
and the only person in his family who was still alive was somebody who was, like, who he had a life oath to kill. He had spent his entire life training to kill Itachi, and then he just got wanked by Itachi, and then he saw Naruto had gotten so powerful during the fight against Gaara, and then with that whole Rasengan against the water canister thing, and the curse mark also caused him to fall under Orochimaru's influence a lot more easily. There were just a lot of factors, and I totally understand why he left the village, and it's not like it didn't work for him, because it did. He came out like S-class level. He took out Yamato, Naruto, Sakura, and Sai, like, with no
Sakura
problem
not so
whatsoever.
much, because
And
she didn't do
Yamato,
anything.
a member of the Foundation,
Not that she
and
could have
an
done
Anbu
anything.
member, right, was like, yeah, no, this guy's too dangerous. I gotta kill him now. That's some, like, crazy shit,
Yeah, like, Sasuke put the effort in to get strong. A lot of people don't give him credit, but, like, if you take away the Nine Tails from Naruto, Sasuke, honestly,
Sasuke literally did.
Yeah.
Like, he just popped the bubble Nine Tails, and, like, then Naruto couldn't do anything against him.
Which is something that we, interestingly enough, never seen do again.
For example, like I was saying, Sasuke in general had, like, technique that which he trained over time. Once, even with the curse mark removed, he was still strong as fuck. Like, you can't take away the effort and the training that he put through during the 2 years, and we've seen that he had obviously trained way harder than Naruto did, because when they first met up, he was just leagues ahead of him, just like you said, Yamato is like...
And they were even when they fought last on the Valley at the end. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is, it's... yeah, I do agree. I suppose they were, because, Naruto was at that stage then, but that's besides the point. I mean, it's good that Sasuke put in so much effort, but he doesn't get credited for it, because everyone's like, oh, he's just an emo that complains. Like, honestly, if you're in his shoes, how would you act?
Like, this is what I don't
how would you
get.
act? The only person that he had that was relatively family to him was Itachi.
It's like, I don't understand why a lot of people say, oh, he's like sad, emo, whatever. It's like, dude, put yourself in his shoes. Like, seriously, think about everything the guy went through. If he went through all of that and he was still going around all happy-go-lucky, whatever, then, dude, that would honestly make me even kind of worried for everyone around him, because there might be something wrong with him if he saw all of that. And remember, how many times has Itachi used his Tsukuyomi to show him exactly what happened? Like, he saw firsthand his clan being slaughtered. And even worse than that, he saw his own parents being butchered right in front of him. Think about that. Like, do you really expect him to come out of that just completely okay? I mean, that's just... It's a criticism that I never understood about people when they criticize Sasuke and say, oh, he's just being emo and whining over nothing. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
And Itachi was, in his mind, it was all a big lie. He'd been lied to his entire childhood after his entire clan had been slaughtered. And then, you know, he's getting pulled from every direction. Like, which way does he go? He has to decide for himself. So I understand why he got so corrupted over time, because everything was so sketchy. Like, the Leaf Village was full of lies. Just about everything, all the different villages you've seen with the Hidden Mist village, like Kasame said the exact same thing. Like, you know, there's so much bullshit going on in the shadows. Like, we have no idea what the deal is, and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, like, what was Sasuke supposed to do? Just go back to the Hidden Leaf?
Yeah,
After
what-
that, you know, if I were Sasuke, I would have a really hard time just
Could
living
you
there. You know, like, knowing everything and not being
really
able to
live
speak
there
up about
knowing
what
that it's
happened to
only
Kakashi.
there
You know, like,
built basically on the
was
blood of your
seriously
clan? It's
just
like, no.
expected to go back to the Leaf and just live a normal life. Like, what? No. And you know, a lot of people say,
And speaking of that, remember, Naruto, Kakashi, and Yamato found out what happened. Obito told them what happened in, you know, to the Uchiha clan and Itachi, and why Sasuke is doing what he's doing at that point. And yet, even knowing that, think about this. Think about this. You find out that this happened, that the village that you grew up in is only there because it was built on the blood of your clan. And that the people in charge of that village forced your brother, the person you probably cared about more than anyone, to pull the trigger, basically. And then the person, like your teacher, and then some other weirdo, and then the person who claims to be your only friend, the person you see as your closest friend, shows up, says he knows about the truth, or he knows about the truth about the Uchiha clan. You would think that maybe he would show some understanding. Instead, no, he just tells you, no, I screw that. I still want you to come back to the village. No, I just want you, you know, all that stuff that happened. Yeah, I want you to just let it go. What? No, dude, it's just, and people wonder why. It's like every decision made by the people that say that they're the closest to him, who care about him, and yet they keep asking him to do things that it's just like, it makes no goddamn sense. Like, they never show any understanding. I mean, the only one I can kind of think of is, okay, Naruto and Kakashi could have maybe showed some understanding, and Kakashi even kind of tried by telling him, like, you know, remember that moment where Sasuke said, like, maybe if I kill all your friends, then maybe you'll know how I feel. And then Kakashi tells him, like, okay, well, you're too late to try because everyone you know has already been dead, already been killed. And he tells him that, yeah, look, I know what you're going through. I know how it feels to have people that you care about die, be killed, have this world take them away from you. But I also know what going down this path of revenge will do to you, because I've seen it happen, and he tries to warn him against it. So, okay, Kakashi tried, and then Naruto shows up saying that he knows what it feels like to want to get revenge because he wanted to get revenge against Nagato for basically killing Jiraiya. But Naruto comes to the conclusion that if he were to take revenge, then, you know, it would just you know, cause other people to hate him for taking away something that they loved, and then it would just continue. But the thing is, they didn't, like, when they met up again after Sasuke fought Danzo, like, I feel like they could have tried harder to show understanding to Sasuke, but at that point I just feel like Sasuke was too far gone. And it's just, I feel like a lot of people don't really get the nuances of Sasuke character. They just see him as this fucking emo kid. And again, the people who claim to be the closest to him always tell him that they just want him to forget it. But the thing is, they don't understand that he's not them. He can't just let it go.
It doesn't make sense that Sasuke, just, you know, he wants to destroy the Leaf Village. That's not what
Itachi wanted. But Sasuke says on multiple occasions he doesn't give a shit what Itachi wanted.
Mm-hmm.
He loved his brother, but it's because he loved his brother that
It's
he doesn't
because
care
of
what
that he can't go back.
like he doesn't care what Itachi wanted. You know, like it was just that Sasuke's life got fucked up, and you know he wants to handle that his own way. He doesn't really care what Itachi wanted. He's not going to live his life the same way Itachi did, because while he loves his brother, he doesn't agree with the way his brother lived.
Yeah, and I think he's also annoyed that, like, he's probably thinking to himself, like, how can Itachi still want good things for the Leaf when they fucked him over so hard, because they literally used Itachi as a scapegoat. Like, regardless of how much you believe in, like, justice and he's a good boy, stuff like that, like Itachi got fucked over. He got the shit end of the stick, and what he had to do was honestly ridiculous. I feel so bad for Sasuke and Itachi for what they went through. And to call Sasuke in particular just an emo kid that complains, like, that's such a silly cop out. Like, I think to myself, you even watching the same story, because if you have no understanding or empathy towards Sasuke and his storyline, then I don't know, you shouldn't be watching Naruto. You shouldn't have an opinion on this, because it's just silly. Like, Sasuke's whole character revolved around that event, which is insane. Like, I suppose Naruto had a shitty childhood too, but it wasn't the same example to that extent.
Not the same thing.
As Sasuke,
at least not to the extent.
You don't know what it felt like to lose all that, so it's not the same thing. It was having those bonds that made it so painful for Sasuke to go through that loss, and then to find out that, you know, all of that hatred that had been festering inside of him for Itachi was misplaced. That he should have loved Itachi the entire time. Like, that would have made me break down in tears the same way it made Sasuke break down in tears. And that's the only time that kid cries in the series. So again, tossing the complete crybaby at him is like really weird to me. But like fucking like also, you know, everybody loves Gaara, and like Gaara was the exact same fucking way when he showed up. He was worse than Sasuke ever could have been. Like, he just wanted to kill people for no reason. And people are okay with him. It's like,
people love Gaara and then they hate Sasuke.
It's
like,
a psychopath. Like, he was insane for the majority. Like, I'm glad that he changed and, you know, he did go for the good.
Of course.
But
definitely,
like, not everybody's the same. Like, obviously Sasuke isn't going to be the exact same as Gaara and just decide, you know what, I'm going to be a good boy. Let's go back to the Leaf. Like, and like you said before, it's not as though he could just do that while he knows the truth of the Leaf and all the Danzo backstory, because he needed to deal with that. Honestly, if he didn't, the problem would be that, like, if he didn't kill Danzo, for example, he would still be pulling the strings in the Leaf. He would have fucked around with Naruto becoming Hokage and Kakashi and all that stuff. There would have been so much bullshit that would have gone on with him. And it's not as though they could be like, alright, let's just go kill Danzo, because they couldn't. That's the thing. Like, if Sasuke wasn't a rogue ninja at the time and in the position to fight Danzo like he did, then that's it, you know? Like, not killing Danzo could have been a huge problem for the Elite Village, especially with after the war and everything that went on.
And it's not like anybody likes Danzo either. Everyone, like, whether they like Sasuke or not, was rooting for Sasuke in that fight.
Yeah, because everyone hated Danzo.
Either fuck you or you're a liar. Like, that's really it, because Danzo's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's
the least likable character in the series.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
God, I do not like him, but that's a topic for another day. But yeah, no, all in all, I love Sasuke. I think he's very unique. I think he's a lot more complex than, you know, many characters in his position.
Than people give him credit for.
Fulfill his role, and yeah, I mean, like, that's really all there is to say about the guy. You know, well, no, actually, that is not true. There's a lot more to say about him, but, you know, like, that's what I have to say about him. You know, just wrapped up in a nutshell.
Yeah,
you don't want to make
Sasuke.
One thing I've said before, just to finish off my last point on the whole thing,
you don't want to make the video too long.
Sasuke, to me, feels like a main character in a sense, because he doesn't, like, he is the rival of the series, but he doesn't follow the same rival trait. Like, he doesn't just have this deep hatred for Naruto basically at all. The only time we've seen that was when he was frustrated at the fact that, I'm not that strong at all, like when he seen the Rasengan versus the Chidori, but like, you need to understand that that was because he was under so much stress to get stronger to kill Itachi, whereas we've seen in Shippuden, the only thing that he had towards Naruto that he hated was that he was pestering him so much. Like, he just wanted to follow his own path, and that's about it, honestly. Like, you can understand why he was so annoyed, because, like we've said before, he was just under so much pressure, and there was all these lies, and he was getting pulled from every different direction, like, do this, do that. Like, yeah, I can understand why he was so insane for the majority of that part of the series in Shippuden, but yeah, I don't think he deserves the hate that he gets, especially because of what he's gone through. And a lot of people just, you know, they just toss him to the side, like, oh, he's just an emo, whatever. Like, well, it's not the case, because if you compare him to, like, Madara, for example, there's a huge difference with their childhoods. Like, Madara was a power-hungry just god to an extent, whereas Sasuke was mentally fucked from his childhood up until throughout the whole series.
Then, what Madara did was way worse than anything Sasuke ever did. You know, like, Sasuke stabbed Karin and people went ballistic. Meanwhile, Madara killed, like, a bajillion innocent people in, like, 30 seconds, so... You know, and everybody loves Madara. I love Madara. Madara's great. I'm just saying, like, you know, complaining about Sasuke because he's done a few bad things, it's like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Double standards,
That's
but,
it.
oh well. I think I've made my points about Sasuke, and you've made some pretty good points as well. All in all, great character, and I think he's a nice, like I think he's different from it's good that he's different from all of the characters that share his role. But yeah. Anyways, so that's about all from us. Go subscribe to Clyde if you haven't. Like, he's great. He makes really cool discussion videos like this, and he also has if you like the in-depth explanation stuff that I do, then you'll like his Anime Fight Night series. It's sort of like Death Battle, but it comes from somebody who's like a big fan of anime. I think he has a lot more passion for what he does.
It's definitely better. Like, I talked to Swag Kage about it before, and in my opinion, like, you might not enjoy it. I don't have the cool animations at the end. If the series takes off or my channel takes off in the future, I might go to that extent and get animations like what Death Battle does. But at the moment, I do the series because I like to get really in depth with their abilities, how fast they are, how strong they are. It's basically Death Battle, but anime only, and it's better. Let's be honest. So yeah, check that out if you want, guys. I don't know if you'll be a huge fan of it, but I will upload a Dragon Ball Z versus One Punch Man one soon, which I have in mind, but it's not done yet. So hopefully by the time you check out my channel,
watch
you'll be
those
able
if
to
you
see
guys
that
want.
too.
By the way,
Thank you so much for having me on your channel, Swag Kage. It means a lot. I love your content. Stay subscribed to Swag Kage.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, that'll be all from both of us. So you guys take care. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out. Bye.
okay, so there it is. That was the video, and yeah, look, it's like they said. I feel like they said everything. Sasuke Uchiha is definitely one of the more unique characters in anime and manga because, like they said, he is technically supposed to be that whole rival trope, but the thing is, he does kind of break it because, like they said, he doesn't have this irrational hate for the main character, which is again a trope we've seen in so many goddamn shonen. And the thing is that he actually has his own goals, his goals that don't have anything to do with the main character. Like, him wanting to get strong has nothing to do with Naruto. In fact, I think there's even a moment in Shippuden, and I think this happened after the pain fight, and after Sasuke went to get the eight tails, but Zetsu shows up after Obito and tells him that, hey, you kind of failed in getting the eight tails. And Zetsu shows up and says that, hey, Naruto beat Pain, and yeah, I think Naruto might be stronger than you. And Sasuke said, yeah, listen, I don't really care about that stuff. It's just I have my own shit I need to do. It's like, to me, it feels like they were kind of trying to bait Sasuke, thinking that he actually, cares about that, but in reality, he doesn't. Like, he doesn't really care about Naruto. He doesn't care about how strong he is. It's just the thing is, it's like I don't understand why a lot of people seem to forget that, and it's one of the reasons why so many people like Sasuke is because, yeah, he is technically, like I said, supposed to be the rival character, but he's a rival character that breaks the tropes of the rival character. Again, his own goals that have no connection to the main character, and does not have this irrational hatred of the main character, and doesn't get stronger just to be better than the main character. He gets stronger so he can fulfill his own goals. And it's just, I hate the fact that more people don't see that. Which, look, nothing against, of course, people who don't like Sasuke, because look, everyone likes and dislikes certain characters. Hell, I'm willing to bet a lot of people feel completely indifferent to Sasuke. Like, they don't like him, they don't hate him, he's there. Like, they don't really have any feelings towards him whatsoever. But I feel like even if you don't have any feelings towards him whatsoever, you have to at least acknowledge that he is, in a way, a unique character. So that's all I have to say, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Remember, of course, to like the video, share the video, and subscribe if you're new. And remember to click on the bell icon to let you know whenever I post a new video and whenever I go live. Thank you so much again for watching and or listening. Remember to stay safe and take care of yourselves, and please join me for the next video. Bye for now.